You in there?
The court has 9 members. It has had 9 members since 1869. Before that, the number did change a number of times, and the number of justices who are on the Supreme Court is not set in
It's a real.
Hi, this is remotely. I don't know how long we've been waiting for the meeting to resume, but there was no audio. It just came on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Bill didn't have audio either because you said you were taking a break and we didn't know if Ron was okay, if something happened. And we're sitting here waiting. Yeah, I know, Ron. I saw that when I saw your hands moving, I knew the meeting continued. So, but we had no audio. I was trying to let everyone know. I was calling Patrick, Anita, Ron, but nobody picked up. I don't blame you. That's okay. I get it. But I was trying to join the meeting.
We definitely resumed the meeting. You're
Yeah.
talking about the full regular meeting?
Uh, yes, whenever you resumed, the audio was not turned on, I think, for remote.
Did you participate in executive session?
Pardon me?
Did you
No
participate?
executive session. We heard nothing. From when you put the meeting, when you said, let's take a break, I've been sitting here waiting and we had no audio from when the reorg meeting
What are your thoughts?
terminated.
I think we have to redo it. Yes. Who approved the minutes? I think we have to go back.
We had Ron and Block approved minutes, and then we should go back to.
So we
That's fine.
have to go back to executive session. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to enter executive session. So move.
Megan, could you note it's because two of our members weren't participating?
Yep.
Bill doesn't say anything.
That I think Bill is muted because he was talking on the phone. Dan, is Bill muted?
Yeah.
Dan, unmute
But
Bill.
you have to understand, there's two mutes, so we can mute him.
All we can do is ask.
Yeah, but he can't hear us. He's
And
muted.
Dan, can you make sure that the YouTube is off, that they can still hear?
That's part of his role.
Okay.
Now we go back in my report.
Yes.
Okay, and again, Mr. Caldwell and Helen, if you could make sure, if you can't hear us, please speak up.
Yes, thank you.
The, my report, we're quickly caught up. Again, I'll try to summarize 3 points in my report: budget projection, athletic facility proposal, and summer school. Budget projection, Anita summarized as well. And I wanted to add that we will try to increase our rate again this year. That is a major goal. And we'll put a marker for April, May to see where we're at with surplus, because having too much can affect our rate going forward, and then the rate can go down. So we look at those expenses at the end of the year. I reported in June what some of those purchases were more recently. Athletic facility proposal. The open session last meeting in June included our athletic coordinator having a proposal sent to the board about a new baseball facility. I wanted to say publicly that that was the first time I had seen it. I wanted to say publicly that I support the athletic coordinator's intent to try to improve the facility. I think he's doing a great job. And then I want to say, as my lone vote on whatever project that was, is that I'm just starting with no. I'm saying, no, you can't have it. I don't intend to come across as if it's entirely my opinion. The reason I put it that way is we have a good goal now. We want to improve the facility. As I said previously before Bill and Helen were here, is that it's very clear when you come on this campus that the improvement of the facility has been a priority of the agency, and you can see improvements across the board, and it's just great in that sense. The space where that field is owned by the William Georgians. We're a very nuanced space. So I know the agency is committed to improving facilities, but frankly, my recommendation is that we're going to slow that down. I'm going to meet with Helen. I'm going to make sure that that all the right parties are in place. And we'll look at a comprehensive needs across the board because we have to make judicious decisions on where large percentages of funding goes from and how much the school is paying, et cetera. So love the intent. I'm all about progress and momentum. So I just want to make sure of that. Helen, do you have anything to add there?
The only thing I want to say is that was the first time I had heard of it. And, and I agree with you. I don't think that was the appropriate process. It should have been brought to you, and then you could have brought it to me and we could have had a discussion. Instead, I never saw it. And apparently it was directed to the facilities director before you and I even knew. I didn't learn about that till after the fact. So I'm just agreeing with you that I think there has to be a better process going forward. And I appreciate the intent very much.
Good. Same page. Then summer school is underway, started yesterday, concludes August 21st. I also added in there, Helen and Bill, that I recently just returned from the Rural Schools Association conference, where I was able to meet with Christina Kaufman, who's the Chief Financial Officer with SED, and talk a little bit about rate setting and commend them for the efforts they made there. And I went to a number of good breakout sessions. Daniel Chase was there as well. 2 breakout sessions about portrait of a graduate for rural schools, as well as implementing AI in the coming age. I'm going to move, we're almost caught up back to my annual goals.
Can I ask you one question? In our summer session, how many of those students are day students? Any of them?
Right now, we have 14 day school students.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Thanks.
For the summer. And that's an important point because we still have students who are enrolled who will be here in the fall, but summer is a separate bill. So that doesn't mean that goes down in the fall. So that's that. Again, I'll try to summarize my annual goals that require approval. I've set, along with a lot of input from committees and other staff members, maintaining some of the same longer-term strategic priorities that were presented to you last year. Successes we had there we built upon. So it doesn't mean that some of those efforts last year will stop. We're setting new goals for this coming year. The strategic priorities are in financial stability, communication and collaboration. Number 3, providing students with employable skills. 4 is recruiting and retaining staff. And 5 is safety. The goals for the coming year specifically are financially just to increase that daily rate and to prioritize some operational areas. And I'll get into the action items after the goals. So that's the goal, financial stability. The goal of effective communication is to engage with the broader community, to promote positive image of campus. Keep in mind that maintains other actions where we've already worked with the agency because our communication with them is in a good spot as we just talked about. Those efforts will continue. We want to increase credit-bearing vocational opportunities for students in terms of employable skills. Good examples of that are the cross-curricular work that Ms. Keith Acker is doing, so that when work is being done and kids are working, be it in a vocational setting here, or an opportunity off campus, which we increased last year, that the work they're doing there is credit-bearing. That is the definition of portrait of a graduate. Portrait of a graduate in New York is that the state is finally recognizing that this archaic program about compliance and the amount of time you're sitting in class is not as important as the competencies you get on the other end. So those are good opportunities, and she's going to be adding those to our key performance indicators. Under recruitment and retention of staff, we are going to advocate so that our district can still receive full funding for singularly certified staff with augmented certifications. Right now, the labor market for particularly math and science teachers to work here is non-existent. If you were to follow the letter of the law would say that staff member has to be certified in a specific science for teaching as well as in special education. Those candidates do not exist. So we're going to be advocating along with BOCES components to make that change so that that's supported, because we cannot find those specific candidates. It's impossible. I'll give an example. We do have a staff member who's certified in biology and special education, but she also teaches earth science. The state every year will come back to us and say she's not qualified to do her job. We think that's ridiculous. So we're going to advocate for that, particularly with the labor market. When those laws were made 20, 25 years ago, thousands of people were trying to work in schools. They're not anymore, particularly with our difficult population. Under safety, we're going to build upon supports. Helen and Bill, you may have missed, I'll summarize some sentiment about a thank you to this board and to the agency for stepping it up to expand our support team in the school. You will have seen roughly a $300,000 increase in that category, and it's been well worth it. We have situations now where when kids are acting out in ways that we anticipate they would, that we're able quickly and safely to identify, diffuse, and isolate students, provide consequences to those students, and get kids back on board. That's what we do here. I believe we're the best in the state at it. And Mr. Twigg added some comments, Helen and Bill, about how appreciative he was and what the experience is now as compared to, say, 5 years ago. Helen and Bill, do you have anything to add there?
No, I'm glad to see I just want to say I'm glad to see the positive results. I mean, it's clearly evident, being at the agency and how well the support team is working at the school to maintain, order and a very safe therapeutic environment. So kudos to you, Tom, and your team. I think you guys have implemented it very well.
Thank you.
Dana, thank you for your hard work. I appreciate that.
I
You
agree.
ever thought of being a sprinter?
What's that?
You ever thought of being a sprinter?
My younger years, I still got it.
And he has a great team. And then finally, again, under safety is that is under the area of drugs. and vapes and gummies and all the prevalence of things that are increasing across the state. I had shared previously, Helen and Bill, that I have colleagues in component districts nearby, more typical public schools, who say they've frankly given up on kids vaping in bathrooms. They're not doing that because they're so easy to sneak onto campus. The largest cause for drugs getting onto campus is kids sneaking the tiniest little things onto campus, and then when they congregate in this school building, it is easier for them to covertly pass them than it would be in a cottage where there's only 8 or 10 kids per se. So Helen has been working diligently with an agency board member about investigating the use of drug dogs to try to deter and identify these. I will do anything possible to keep kids and staff safe here. She's invited me to a meeting in August to discuss this that will include a superintendent who has used this particular vendor that's being considered. My approach to this, as always, would be methodical and momentum-based and incremental progress, because the use of and the invasion and search and seizure needs to be handled upfront, meticulously and legally and properly in accordance with law and policy in a public school. And so we're gonna pursue it that way, and we'll see where it goes. I just want to make sure this board is aware of that activity. We, as a policy committee, knows have a very standard and strict search and seizure policy that we do not want to violate, and we're going to make sure all those questions are answered before we just approach in this way.
Helen.
I'd like to add, yeah.
We search the kids on Sundays when they come back, right?
Oh, absolutely.
How are they?
Absolutely.
How are these things getting into the school?
How are they getting
Mondays?
in? They may put it in an orifice of their body where we're not allowed to search. They may, we have found sealed snack bags, like Lay's potato chip bag, then re-glued and resealed. And in the bag is potato chip, some sort of substance. They have very, very creative ways of getting the contraband on campus. I mean, we do everything we legally can. We put them when they come home from a home visit. We remove them from the vehicle they're in case they hid it in the vehicle, and then we transport them to their cottage in a second vehicle. So we've taken every effort. It's just a very, very challenging situation for us because there are things we cannot control. But I would like to add something to what, if I may, to what Tom said. The board member had seen this successfully executed in Connecticut, in Deep River. And the superintendent, Dr. Levy, has agreed to be on the call with also someone who is a member of the state police, who actually had tremendous experience. She worked in a residential facility, and she's also a PhD in psychology, as well as being a law officer. And together, they had tremendous success, they said, at the school, the public school in Deep River, Connecticut. And Dawn Taylor is willing to come here. She will be here for the meeting on I think on the 12th, and Dr. Levy will participate via conference. They are, very eager to help us, realizing, what a serious and dangerous situation this is, and sharing their success at the time at Deep River School. I think it was Deep River. I mean, I know that's the area.
So what are the next steps? Is there a call? Is there a visit to campus?
Sure. Well, Dawn Taylor, who is the psychologist, and also she was with state police. Now she's the head of all security for one of the CEOs of a Fortune 500 pharmaceutical company. But she will be coming on campus August 12th. That is the plan. And Dr. Levy will be participating via conference so that they can meet with us, tour the camp. She can tour the campus, meet with us, and we can sit down and discuss the school and the agency leadership, what our challenges are, and I'm sure they're aware of it. And they're going to basically share what they found was successful in that school district.
Well, wouldn't it make sense to do this on a Sunday? To take, and I know the kids are bringing these into the school, like maybe out of a package or something like that. But why aren't we doing it on a Sunday?
Because Sunday, most of the kids come home 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, 12. We're commuting them from various locations. We can share with them what we're doing, right? You mean to have, well, that may be something they may recommend, right? We also have to look at what OCFS allows, right? Just like the school has search and seizures, the agency and OCFS have regulations on what we can and cannot do. So what this is going to be is a preliminary discussion. We're not going to have any dogs here or anything like that. It's a discussion for them to share with us what they found was successful in dealing with the issue. And then, we can then take what they shared with us to SED, or if Tom knows, but I would have to take it to OCFS and share with them what was recommended and successful, and see what they would allow and under what circumstances. So it's really just a beginning conversation. Nothing is going to be implemented yet. At the end of the day, it may be something that we cannot do. Maybe the state of Connecticut, SED, allows more liberal with their policies. But it's a starting point in a conversation from two people have extensive experience. So we're looking forward to hear what they can help add to the discussion.
And you said this meeting is on August 12th?
Correct.
And who's going to be here?
Who's going to be at the meeting? It's going to be my leadership team. Oh, you mean from Connecticut?
Well, everybody.
Well, on the agency side, I would expect it to be Tom Brown, Director of Support Services. His team is the one that meets the youth when they return from off-site. Dave Dankert, Head of Residential. Pete Natalie, our Director of Human Resources. Myself. I may have people who oversee the cottages. I might have the administrators that oversee the cottages, each of the programs. There's 3 of them. We haven't made a final determination on all the attendees, but I'd like to keep it smaller. And then Tom will attend, and I assume Tom's team will attend. Tom, who are you inviting from the school?
I have decided that, I think, most likely Mr. Twig, but as you're saying, this is preliminary.
Right.
So the decision, this is fact finding. I want to hear the story. I want to hear about how Dr. Levy dealt with it, in the community, not just at the school. And I just want to hear more about it. But if we're making decisions about what's at the school, I just want to make sure, and I've been invited, so we're representing. Will any board members be there, Helen?
I'm not sure yet, but I will let you know when I find out if a board will be attending.
I think it's a good example. We have a high standard here, so we get into these situations where we take this very seriously. And I know that there's a lot to consider, but it is a high standard that we're talking about just not permitting this in school. We're not giving up. And And I think it'll be a good thing.
Alan, we're still doing searches, right, when kids come back from home?
Pardon me?
That hasn't changed, right? We're still doing.
No, it has not. We won them. We do searches, the same, practice that's been in place, for years. But,
Which is
they
much
come up
more
with
visible
new,
than Most agencies. Tom, I'm
Oh,
hearing you saying vaping, okay, which is, I'm guessing you're talking about nicotine.
Possibly.
what do you say?
Marijuana.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Nicotine.
It could be
So what most agencies are dealing with is a proliferation of drugs across campus. Okay, so we're focusing on nicotine.
No, I would.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it has to be. It's gonna be,
Well,
I don't know how
you can put
send
THC
kids
in
home
vape.
all over the state and think you're gonna stop every drug.
Absolutely.
Right.
You can't do it.
No, it's like Helen said.
Kids are in jeans.
Look, Ron, it's not just nicotine, to be clear.
Okay.
Right.
But you also
And
have you also have a day school.
Yeah.
Which
I think what this,
every day.
Okay,
I'm not saying that it's false,
right,
but it's a separate issue.
yes, yes. We have very limited at all access. Our day school students do not interact with residential students. The culture here is that if they're interacting, it stands out quite a bit. They have a totally different schedule. And keep in mind, every single one of those school students is searched every single day. Every single
On
day.
arrival.
On arrival. Yes, and there's more to that. Like
The SCD, I'm just curious.
I want to say, like, later we're gonna approve the district-wide safety plan. I want to reiterate that we're still on the annual goals. And there's a bit in there about those searches, if that's okay. Are there any questions about those annual goals?
I don't have any.
Helen or Bill, were you able to hear it?
yes,
It's fine.
Okay. And we need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the superintendent's admin goal for 26-27.
Great, is there a second?
I'll
Second.
Second.
Great, all those in favor?
Aye.
And on to Anita with the financial.
We are officially caught up.
So, these are just preliminary numbers. I have some accruals in here that need to be adjusted. We're about 383,490 positive. Again, these are prelim. So we are roughly at about 798,000 revenue over expense. And then, of course, we had a prior year deficit of 415. So we'll eat that up and then we'll leave ourselves with, I'm gonna say just under 400,000, which is well within, the 8% of revenues that we're allowed to keep. We have paid all of, everything owed to the agency. The only thing that's owed is the June contract, which we'll bill that shortly. So there's obviously no time to pay for a June contract. It'll be paid in July. But we have paid the rent and the insurance as well. So we're all caught up with them. We're ending the year with 109.33 kids residential and 19.78 in day school. Now, I've also attached the preliminary financial statements too. Of course, when we have our next meeting, I'll have the finals that I'll present, and the audit committee will also get the finals as well. We're done with that. Revenue and expense, if you look at the statement, what Tom was referring to is the non-instructional salaries line. You see it's 2.497 million. In the prior year, it was 2.1. That increase is the introduction of the new support team, certain raises, and just additional staff. And then on the balance sheet, just a couple of items to look at. We're still out 1.1 million in accounts receivable, but that's really probably about, I want to say about 45 to 60 days out. We have a couple lingering counties that don't want to pay that retro increase that we got. I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the school year, we got a initial rate an intermediate rate. And then they gave us a prospective rate, and there was a delta between the two of about $500,000. We went back and rebuilt it. Some of the schools, they don't really understand why there's so many rates. It's a complex system. So we're actively collecting on that, but they did pay all of the $988,000 in retro. That's been paid. So we're flush with cash. I mean, we've got $307,000 in there right now, which is actually very good for us. We've got some major things that we have fixed. We're working on the roof. We purchased some cameras, some new laptops for the teachers. All of that's in there. The generators will be in next year, but it'll be part of a grant, which will be fantastic. Paving we're gonna have done next year, will be part of a grant too. So it's the best year I think we've had since I've been here. Yeah,
Great.
it's the best.
Thank you, Tommy. Need everybody for your hard work. Appreciate it. And so, go ahead.
The generators they're gonna be installed soon.
Yes.
Like they're actually going to be on site, when Anita says they'll be able to
But reimbursed.
Well, reimbursed. We also, this year, we did get some additional, cameras, which are part of this budget from 25-26. We purchased those cameras. So they're gonna be installed too, but we actually will get a little bit back. There's, I think it's Schedule N, as part of our ST3 that we filed with New York State. They will reimburse us up to about $35,000, I think it is. So we tried to get as much as I think we did 25.
So those are camera upgrades as well as additional cameras.
Yep.
And keep in mind, we expanded our server so that we can maintain up to 5 years of video evidence.
Pretty good. So we need a motion to accept the financial report from Anita.
I'll make a motion to accept the financial.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Anybody opposed? Great, and on to the claims auditor report.
Yeah, I'll just let you guys read it briefly. So the claims auditor, it's a role that's required by the New York State SEC. They approve every single payment and every single invoice. Not only do myself, Ms. Apker, Mr. Watts, we all approve it, but then they're turned over to the claims auditor, who then she approves it, looks at it, makes sure that it's a legitimate charge, that it looks like it's going to the right location, and then she signs it as well, and then they're available to be paid. So it's a requirement, it's a process, and this is her report on it. She also audits our payrolls too. So she does 100% audit. She physically meets every employee to make sure that they're a real employee. Sees their badge and has them come in and sign. So, and that's also a requirement. And then she audits all the payrolls too as well for the year.
Okay,
Reviewing those, spot checking.
great.
Just curious, what are her credentials?
So she has a degree from, I think it's Morrisville, but she also worked at TST BOCES. She was the administrative assistant for
It's a career in technical education.
yeah. So she came from BOCES and now she still works for the state. So she's in a different capacity at the state. So she helps us in off hours when she's done the work. She'll come in. She's pretty convenient for us. It's actually really hard to find a claims auditor. It's like before I came in, we didn't even have one in here, so we were a little behind. So when we did get her, she went through 3 years of backup for us to go through and check. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
We're lucky to find somebody, honestly.
And do we need a motion on that? Is there a motion?
I move that we accept the claims auditor report for 25-26 school year.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Ron. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And on to the personnel report.
I'll note that this includes the majority, if not all, of our annual stipended appointments.
Just a quick question, I'll make a motion, but what is the wellness coordinator?
So, that is,
I think I need a wellness.
Yeah.
that is technically part of our health insurance connection to Excellus. The role there is, in this case, it's Katie Birch again this year. She's our health teacher, and she does a dual role. So essentially, the activities that she puts forward are to promote wellness of our staff. So that bucket of money, so to speak, that comes out of the health co-op goes towards things like gift cards to join a gym, free passes for a gym, massages, step counts, all sorts of that. But she's also regionally the wellness coordinator for the entire co-op, which is.
So that reduces our premium or affects our
It
premium?
does not. It's included in the price.
Yeah.
But you could argue that it reduces our premium because you have a healthier workforce. So that is an effort that they put forward from Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield probably 4 or 5 years ago, blanking on the number, but she does a fantastic job of every month having another wellness effort here, and also helps coordinate with all those school districts' wellness coordinators at their schools, because a lot of the contests, so to speak, for example, step challenges, are done regionally. So that's what she does.
Thank you. So I'll make a motion to accept the personal appointments and terminations as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. And on to the district-wide signature.
Yeah, and Ron, this is what I was referring to, so I want to certainly give you a chance to finish your questions. Both, the next two votes specifically, are annual votes. One for district-wide safety plan and one for the code of conduct. This year, there's 2 changes. Number one is names that have been updated. For example, our guidance counselor who left will be replaced by a new guidance counselor, so we changed names. The only other change from a year ago was specifically where we do day school screenings. So in years past, we would do day school screenings at Barber Cottage, which is up near the dining facility. The goal there was to keep the day school students as far away from the population as possible. As happens in organizations, that's shifted because there's a med pass being done up there in the mornings now for residential students. So we simply moved the day school screening to the front of the school building, and it's working well. The idea there is that when we're doing those screenings, there are no other students around, which we're able to maintain, and we have a safe corridor where kids are under camera and are screened for devices or anything dangerous immediately after they leave the bus or a home transport. So it's really, that's the change in both of those, physically where we're doing that. Just want to make sure of that. Ron, to finish your point about safety, it was specific to day school students?
No, I was curious, well, not really, but no, I was curious about I know what the regulations are about searches related to the agency under OCFS. I wasn't sure what the regulations are related to that. That was really.
It's spelled out in our policy. It pertains to educational law and federal law, constitutional rights. There are limits on what we can search. For example, when it's dictated, you obviously cannot do a strip search.
Nor
Should you. And that administrative staff have to be present when it occurs. And we're permitted to search kids every day, in this case with day school students. And we now include that in our packets. When new day school students come in, they verify, they acknowledge that they can be searched every day. Because the standard in education is that if there's reasonable suspicion. So we have extended that we want to do it every single day. We have not had one objection from a parent or a school district. In fact, most are glad to hear that it's occurring.
All right, so back to home. On the OCFS side, my recollection, you can ask kids to empty their pockets. Not even sure you can do a pat down. That might be a correction. And you certainly can ask somebody to take their pants off in the event they have something in the under. So the regulation is fairly restricted, which is why, back to Patrick's question, you'll never be able to stop.
Yeah, I agree,
I think we do a great job. Well, I think we're more, let's put it this way. I think we have a standard of not accepting.
it's a high standard.
There are gonna be drugs and everything else on campus.
It's a high
And I
standard.
think we're really vigilant in doing everything we can do within the parameters set by the regulations. But those regulations will not allow you to do what you need to do in order to stop everything.
It will not be like getting out of here.
Very valid point.
And this may not just be for the school. And I'm fully aware of what this, somebody explained to me years and years ago that there was bars on the windows here. You know, it was a setting that was not, you want to make an environment here that's not
Criminal.
exactly. So the bars came down years and years and years ago.
Yeah, I don't think there are bars here.
And that person lied to me.
Well, they're probably thinking. of
Make a correction.
Lansing or something else.
May I make a correction? There weren't bars that I'm aware of in the 30 years I've been here on the windows. We had Sykes, what, Ron?
Yeah.
We had Sykes, screens on the, to prevent
were
youth,
screens.
Sykes screens on
So
the
anyway,
windows.
my story.
So to prevent
not-
youth from harming
I understand
themselves.
that we want to make an environment feel like you said.
Pardon me? And so what we did was we replaced it with, as the years went on and material became available, we've replaced it so they are no longer on the windows. In fact, we're removing them, even today in some of the older cottages.
But, and, you know, so my point is, I understand what you are, that you all would agree here, and I get it. And there's a fine line. And when we're talking about drugs coming on the campus, we're talking about other things that I don't want to discuss that we talked in executive session about. When I come on the campus, today I was asked what I'm doing here, but nobody came out to ask me for ID. I wasn't on a list at the gate. More times than not, that gate just opens when I pull up to get on the campus. So I could have anything in my pockets. I could be somebody who's not going to be doing the right thing on this campus. And I think it also, and you know, it's the environment that we're in. And when you had sent out about graduation, it's a lot of people coming on this campus. And I don't know what the answer is to make sure that the campus is secure at the point of graduation as well, for people that are coming on this campus as well. And, you know, again, this is out of my wheelhouse.
I will share,
But, I'm sorry, I'm not finished yet.
okay,
So-
sorry.
And I'm not sure what that answer is, but I know that I come on this campus very freely, so why do we have a gate if nobody's gonna say, who
I
are you?
can-
Yes, I'm Mr. Larunas, I'm a board member, and they check the sheet, or come out and even ask me for ID to make sure it's me. You know, again, there's a fine line here. We don't want to create an environment that is totally locked down situation, but
Yeah, and
I just throw that out.
I know Helen wants to respond as well, but I'll insert there. We don't do ID checks, but we do have a system electronically where we notify, in this case, we do notify the agency, and obviously everyone's notified that there's a board meeting, members will be here. But there's no, I don't think we do ID checks, but there is the infrastructure that we're able to put on a database who we're expecting.
But even going back to graduation, you're letting a lot of people on this campus.
You know, you're right, James. Yeah, it is a fine line because we're a family-oriented, supposedly welcoming environment, but you're right, and so you have to somehow walk this line between trying to ensure safety without being entirely exclusive. So, you know, a family says, well, we're going to bring in 3 people, and they bring in 5, whose names you don't even know. It happens.
Right.
And you do want to be welcoming to families. It's a hard thing. I do want to make another comment, though. I don't want to deny your comment or dismiss it. But, you know, we've been talking a lot about cigarettes, nicotine, drugs. one of the things that we have been very successful, and it's not true of every agency, is that there are very few weapons coming into the agency. Guns, knives, shanks, and that is a problem in other agencies. So, because we have, what do we get, what's it, Daniel, what's it called? At the support. Yeah, we have nothing. Yeah, right. So, you know, we should give ourselves some credit for that. But, you know, James's point is valid. It's a tough balancing.
I know, yeah, I agree, and I know Helen wants to comment as well, but I think it's another point that it goes to comprehensively looking at the entire safety program.
Well, we want
And
to
I
talk
like,
today, we
can,
have to go through checks to talk. And I'm not saying
can,
that should happen here, but maybe when we're allowing so many people that one time a year to come on this campus, I don't know.
may I say something? I just want to add, I agree with you, James, on graduation day, and on the agency, we have family day once a year where the families come, very similar to the graduation. And that is something that we do have to look at and address, how we can improve the safety and security on those days when we have so many people attending. But what I'd like to address, and I think they can be high-risk days potentially, right? But for the rest of the year, other than that day, I know on the agency side, whenever a guest is coming on campus, it's entered into our system to the receptionist, and she can see that clinician Smith is having a guest come in, and this is their name and this is their time of arrival, and they're with this organization. The same with food services. So I think as far as you know, on ordinary days, when we're not having these large events, we have taken tremendous effort. So it would have to be, you know, a collaboration.
Nobody asked me my name today. I just said I was here for a board meeting and the gate opened. And more
Well,
times than
that's
not,
on the school side. When my board members come, James, there's a list and they know
more
who's
times than
attending.
not, the gate just opens when I call in. So I'm just saying,
Pardon me?
whether or not that's right or wrong, maybe that's the policy. I don't know.
I didn't hear what you said occurred.
I said, when I pulled in today, all I said is I'm here for a board meeting and the gate opened. On many previous occasions, the gate just opens. So what's the point?
We'll have to address
What's the
that.
point of having the gate at the road?
You're right.
Well, it's better than having no gate.
It's been improvement, and as I said, we also contribute to that same database. So my office staff will, if they have a guest coming in, will contribute the same thing. Whether ID is asked or not, there would be a new.
Emergency vehicles come in, state police come in, they're getting in.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
OCFS comes by unannounced, they're getting in.
You know, Helen brings up the point of family day. That's a great day. If anybody, I don't know if you've been there, I think Ron has as a board member and stuff. It's a great day to see the students interact with friends and family. There's a lot of activities on campus, so that's something that everybody's welcome. Just tell Tom and you can tell Helen.
We have an open house that day, essentially, where the school does open their doors.
Yes.
It's called Family Day.
I think this year is nice.
It's the.
Yeah, I don't have that date, but it's been released. It's in September. I'll try to find it. The agency hosts it every year.
It is September 19th.
And you know, I don't want
September 19th, right?
And it's some of the teachers are here. So it's an opportunity to meet teachers and it's been
Treat it like
great.
an open house.
Yeah, James, these have been added additions. Again, I think it's good to forensically look back to 5 years ago. There was no gate, there was no database that we were contributing to. It was wide open. So these are good discussions that we'll continue to look at. And I think it goes to that collaboration, like Alan said, continue to address it, particularly on bigger event days. Who answers it and whether or not they ask if the name is on there. I think that's a specific, maybe isolated incident to look into.
You know, you're not, well, for a long time I had organized things. And you had to, sure, Dan was involved. they have no idea how much time goes into talking about every single family that's coming unfamiliar and who may or may not be a problem. And, you know, what's the strategy for kind of escorting that family, shadowing that family, you know, whatever the case was. Tremendous amount of work, all staff, clinical staff, management staff, childcare staff, teachers, teacher aides. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, everything can be improved with a lot of work.
Correct. Yeah, it has improved a great deal, and it will continue to improve.
Good to know.
So those are summaries for both the safety plan and code of conduct, but you need two separate votes.
Okay. We need a vote for both of those, the district-wide, or separately. Would someone make a motion, district-wide safety plan, 2026, 2027?
I'll make the motion for the safety plan 2026.
Is there a second?
So moved.
Great. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And now we're into the code of conduct.
Yes, same idea.
Okay.
The only change is early day schools being screened and updates.
Great. Is there a motion to accept the code of conduct for 2026, 2027?
I make a motion to approve the code of conduct for 2026.
And is there a second?
Second.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. And on to our student.
Yeah, information items. Anthony just presented to you in June and has had 1 day of school since then. I released him from his duty to have a written report.
Okay.
I'll add before I turn it over to him that on September 30th, I have registered he and I to attend exhibition trainings and at the next meeting in September, between now and then, Anthony, Mr. Twig, and I will meet with some students to have a roundtable discussion. Anthony, anything to add?
I started school again, basically, and got my classes. I also have a new professional assignment, which is carpentry facility.
Excellent.
Great. How long have you been there?
Just yesterday.
Okay. Just for carpentry and school? For both?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Anthony, you are successful in the carpentry program, which we all know you will be. You'll always have a job.
Mm-hmm.
So
Show up on time.
work hard. Yeah, show up on time. That's the first question any employer is going to ask. Okay? So just work hard. You'll do great.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else on that? And then I think William has the.
We haven't met either.
Okay.
Anthony's had 1 day, we've had 0 days.
And I would say a number of those folks were in Lake Placid and they appreciate your participation.
Thank you.
It was great to meet Mr. Longo. It was really great for us.
It's all
I think
about
I
that.
spoke with him on the phone
Okay.
because they did a survey and
School Board Association loves surveys.
yeah, and the guy had just had knee surgery. I think he was on Vicodin and he was white and he was in so much pain and he said, "I'll call you back," and I never heard back from him.
All right.
Not to knock the SCP, but that's what happened.
So despite a board member falling out of a chair, a fight that was quickly diffused, and some audio difficulties, I want to thank you all for your participation in this. Your dedication to it is not unnoticed either. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't pull out of the chair. The chair fell from under.
Clarification. So public be heard. Is there anybody? I don't see anybody over here. I don't know if there's anybody's online.
You have anything to say, Sandy?
She looks thrilled and over the motion about being here. So we need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Don't think so. Great, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the summer. Stay safe.
Yeah, let me.